Welcome to the Gangneung Curling Center, home of wheelchair curling at the Pyeongchang 2018 Paralympic Winter Games. This is round robin session number 14. And our feature match on Sheet B is Slovakia playing Canada. Wheelchair curling contested its first medal at the Torino 2006 Paralympic Winter Games. Canada won gold in 2006, following it up again in 2010 and again in 2014. Looking to stop them in their tracks. Lead for Slovakia, Monika Kunkalova. Second and skip, Radoslav Duris. At the third position, Dusan Pitonak. And throwing the fourth stones, Peter Zatko.
On sheet B, Slovakia versus Canada.
And the reigning Paralympic champions. Team Canada.
Hi everyone.
Marie Wright playing lead.
On sheet C, Republic of Korea.
Dennis Thiessen, second stones. Two-time Paralympic champion Ina Forrest, third and vice skip. And playing skip, throwing the fourth stones, Mark Idesen.
시트 D에서는 노르웨이와 핀란드의 경기가 진행됩니다.
Here we go. There's 35 nations around the world that play the sport of wheelchair curling. 12 qualified for these Paralympic Games. Canada sits near the top of the standings at 6-2. Slovakia at 3-5 is on the outside looking in, but their destiny is in their own hands. They've got 3 games left, and if they can win all 3 of them, they could be around for the medal rounds. So at 3-5, key wins against Finland, Sweden, and Great Britain. Slovakia is trying a different lineup. They've shuffled a little bit. They're looking for that perfect combination. They know that they are in a win or out situation. Their team is supported from the bench by Imric Likosa. Canada 6-2, strong playing. They've only dropped 2. It was one off day, but here they sit. They know what they need to do. They've got 3 games left. They pull out a couple of wins. They are guaranteed a spot in the semifinals. Canada on the ice.
Games will begin in 1 minute. Good luck and good curling.
They're throwing the yellow stones. They're joined from the bench by Jamie Ancio. Before each game, the players are given, each team is given a 9-minute practice. And at the end of that 9-minute practice, they throw what is called the last stone draw. 2 players from the team throw draw shots into the center of the rings in the scoring area. Those shots are then measured. The tally is kept, and at the end of that, the team with the shortest amount of distance, closest to the center of the house, they get that last stone advantage in the first end. By virtue of that last stone draw today, Canada takes the hammer the first end, which means Monika Kunkalova will get us started. So, wheelchair curling. We'll play 8 ends, 6 ends minimum. In each end, each of the 4 players throws 2 stones. And Monika opens the tournament with a rock into the free guard zone. Now Canada cannot remove this stone from play, so Marie Wright will be asked to throw a corner guard. And if it slips into the rings, into the scoring position or the house, that's all right in this opening end. Throughout the tournament, Canada's kept it kind of simple in the beginning of the games. They are very, very patient with their tactics. So they're going to try and draw this stone into the house. It's got a little bit of, it stops right there in the back of the 12-foot. So those concentric circles there you see on the ice, the bullseye, the target, the house. They're 12 feet in diameter at the outside. And that's the scoring area. So with that great draw by Marie Wright, Slovakia going to try and take this stone out. It needs to hold the line. That's curling way too much. And this is the kind of game plan that Canada's had. They just wait. Nice. Once they get an opportunity, they try and pounce, capitalize on the mistakes. As Marie gets this rock going, she is a very steady, positive player out there for Team Canada. She's got a great energy about her, very calm, very controlled when she throws, but just a super positive presence for the team. You can feel the good energy that comes off her when she is trying to support the team. And look at that, she puts a guard right on top of her rock in the rings. You can see it's completely hidden. And the second, Radoslav Duris, who calls the game a skip. He throws the second stones tonight, comes down the ice. So this is a bit of a unique lineup. Their skip throws the second stones. And he'll settle himself. And Peter Zatko sits behind, and the teammate behind is really trying to stabilize the chair so that it doesn't move. Keep everything as steady as possible. You want all of the momentum to the shot to be coming from the upper body, through the arm, and then through the delivery stick or the cue. And then into the stone, which travels down the ice. And this is so close to being a perfect shot. Trying to choke off that corner guard, but you can see it sits just short. The Canadian stone is still count in the back of the rings. Mark Idison does not like that Slovakia controls the center of the rings here. He's going to have Dennis Thiessen throw a takeout or a peel shot. So it's okay if this running stone or the shooter right there rolls out of play. And with that momentum, you saw the stone bounce a little bit. Dennis Thiessen, a very strong player, throws a lot of pace on these rocks. But with that little bounce, you wonder, you know, they wanted to roll off to the side, if that isn't the reason why he ended up hitting it square on the nose. So Monika Kunglova, who throws the lead stones, also holds the broom for her skip while he's throwing. So she is considered the vice skip. And he's going to try and take that Canadian stone out from behind the rings. He's okay if he wrecks on his own. He's got a beautiful shot there. Oh, he would have loved to have stayed around in the rings, but really great shot, limiting Canada's scoring opportunity there on the back of the rings.
Sure, yeah.
That's confidence in knowing how the ice is moving. Even though he couldn't see that rock from where he was positioned at the far end of the field of play, he knew that the rock would curl enough to get around the guards, around the rock in the top of the 12-foot, and hit the Canadian stone right on the nose. Now, Dennis Thiessen's going to try and get past his own corner guard. that second rock that Marie right threw.
Nice shot, Dennis.
Pick that stone out of play. Well thrown. Now they're just looking at the angles, the options. How do they get a stone in the rings? What's the best place on the ice? You can see he's calculating how much it's going to curl, which way to come. They don't want to wreck on the Canadian stone out in front. So Dusan Pitonak gets his first stone in play. Trying to get around that center guard. It needs to slow down now. He's around the guard, but it's got way too much weight. You got to wonder, the Slovakia team had the first practice. The ice might have been a little bit slower. They have to make that adjustment to the in-game speed. Now, Ina Forrest, she's going to try and make that draw as well. Canada had second practice, so the practice closer to the start of the game. The ice is more true to in-game speed during that second practice. With the way Ina has been playing, it wouldn't surprise me if this first rock is near perfect. She's definitely by the center guard. Now it just needs to come to a stop.
12-1.
Right in the rings. Back of the 8-foot, under cover. Great way to start for Ina. And Dusan lines up his cue. Stone right at the target. He's got a second chance to make the shot he just missed. It's a great situation for an athlete. They took the information from the first rock they threw, and then they need to make the adjustment. The weight is absolutely great. If he's got the line, this is a pistol of a shot. Wonderful adjustment by Pitonak. With that little bit of a bounce off, though, Canada has a chance to follow them down. They could tap it out. They could just choose to draw and use those stones as kind of back guards to hold their rock in the rings. Ina, the lefty. Her delivery is so steady, so consistent, absolutely repeatable.
Come on, get over it. Come on, get over it.
She limits the variables she's dealing with in such a beautiful way. You'll start to notice as you watch the game just how specific she is with her choices. And that one runs a hair straight on her, maybe a little bit too much weight thinking about that tap. And now, momentum Slovakia. Their skip, Peter Zatko, gets a chance to draw a second stone into the rings. Their count 1 in the back of the 8-foot. So I mentioned the lineup change. This is Peter Zatko's first game at throwing the 4th rocks for Team Slovakia. This is a big moment. He's got an opportunity to put a ton of pressure on Canada coming out here at the start of this game. Comes up a hair short of his goal, but it's okay. He's blocking the Canadian access, limiting the access to their stone in the back of the rings. Mark Idison, he's thinking of throwing the draw.
Maybe a little less.
Maybe it's the tap he's throwing here, because that is a staggered port that he's trying to get through. So he's got to get just past the guard on the left side outside the rings and then around the center. But he could be playing a tap.
Are they shot, Mark?
Hey?
Are they shot?
Yeah.
Okay.
We usually get a
Let's try to
confirmation
get
from
that
Mark.
yellow one going forward.
Yeah. Yeah. I like it.
So it looks like he is going to throw the tap. So that's the target. His vice skip, Aina, is on the other end of the ice holding a broom. That's where he's lining up. Lines up. His eye right behind his hand. All that momentum through the stone. This rock looks like it has good pace. Trying to tap this yellow stone. It needs to
Nice
go.
shot, Mark. Nice shot.
And that is a peach. Mark Idison coming to play tonight. He knows if Canada gets a couple of wins in these last 3 games, they are set for the semifinals, and their dream of winning the 4th gold medal in a row at the Paralympic Games is in play.
Nepočujem.
Že ten center guard tam musí ostať.
OK.
So you can see Team Slovakia, they're going to set the target a bit wider than where Canada was. They're trying to come around the yellow stone in the center of the ice right now. Rado, as the skip is known, sets the target for Peter Zatko. Zatko lets it go. Looked like he had a little bit of trouble with the rock sticking, not quite getting the setup that he liked. And this one's running way wide, and this is absolute disaster for Slovakia. With that, he not only does he tap the Canadian stone into the rings, but he opens up that side of the ice. It's completely wide open. This draw now becomes much easier in part of its trajectory.
Hey, Marco.
What do you think?
I think you're looking at 12 and a half, 13.
I need 4 foot, so.
Okay.
So, Marco, the
That
skip,
one he just threw was like 11-2.
needs 4 foot. He needs a little bit better than the 8 foot to score, but he wants to be very specific in his mind. Slovakia knows they can feel it. They are in a little bit of trouble here, letting Canada get potentially a 3-point lead in the first end. That's going to be a tough mountain to climb. This rock is running a little bit and needs to pick up the curl and slow down a bit.
Slow down. Stop, 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 stop.
There it starts to curl. The weight comes off it, but it just slips deep.
Yeah.
You wouldn't have known it, but his heart might have been beating a little
That's
bit
all right.
fast. He had a little bit too much
So-
momentum.
Oh, okay.
Gave you the wrong number.
The adrenaline surging. And Canada ends up missing the opportunity for 3 points, but opens the game with a decisive score of 2. We're back for the second end. Slovakia with the hammer. Getting a look at the early statistics. It's pretty close. Really, the difference maker in that last end, that wayward tap up of the Canadian stones by the Slovakian skip,
In between shots.
set Canada up for the 2 points.
Yeah.
Good news for Slovakia was that Canada missed their last rock, and it was only 2. Marie Wright, The 57-year-old lead for Canada gets this second end underway. And
Really?
absolutely
Yeah.
perfectly places that rock into the center of the scoring area. That's something that Slovakia can't just let stay there. They know what they need to do. They need to risk creating a little bit of offense. So putting the corner guard in play here, trying to set themselves up for places to hide off in the
Right
wings.
on top.
Is it going to be a little keener on this side?
You can
Set
tap
up
at it.
potential multiple point score.
Okay.
Now this zone, so Marie double checking the side of the ice, the speed of the ice, will one side be faster than another? That is great awareness from these players. The ice surface is a little unique. We're on sheet B, we're in the center of the facility. It's pretty equal curl in both directions, but there might be a slightly bit different speed from one side or the other. That could have to do with the airflow of the building, the natural cooling capabilities of the plant. And now that that rock is open and accessible, Slovakia says we're not gonna take any chances. We're gonna get that out of play, and that's a nice hit and stick for Monika Klova.
Go away.
Super steady there. No bounce to the rock this time.
Get a little roll.
This has got a very nice
now roll,
line.
now roll.
Past the guard, tucks right underneath.
Oh, I thought that was going to crash.
That's the Dennis Thiessen that won that gold medal in the 2014 Paralympics. Fantastic outcome. It's so good that Slovakia needs to remove the center guard. Just a peel shot. There's Skip Rado down for his rocks. He might have the rock in the rings. Oh,
All same three.
that was an either or. He was okay with getting the call was the center line guard to peel
13.
it away, but he's okay with picking the rock off the rings. And you can see the setup. There's a center guard. Canada's going to try and hide this stone right behind it. This is Dennis's first draw of the game. Looks a little spicy. Definitely needs to slow down. I don't think that it's going to stick around, and nope, it slides past the back line and out of play. So these are the moments that Slovakia need to capitalize on. Canada isn't going to give you a ton of open misses like that. And Slovakia really needs, in these moments, to execute at a very high level, get back those couple of points that they gave up in the first end. And that is not going to be how you do it.
13.
11.
All of a sudden, we've got a couple of heavy draws from both teams. Ice might be getting all the way up to speed. So there's a point, the ice at the beginning of the game starts out slightly slower, and then it gets all the way up to speed as fast as it's going to get, and then it starts to slow down again subtly. And that, again, has to do with atmospheric changes. It has to do with the number of rocks being thrown down a path. And these athletes are tracking all of that. How many rocks come down specific paths.
Should be
They're
good,
always
Ina.
working their stopwatches. They want to have the best information, and they share it with each other in order to get beautiful outcomes like this. Top of the forefoot, half under cover. Great shot from Ina Forrest. So this was a very narrow. It's going to hit on the other side, but it should be all right. Oh, it goes through the hole. Oh, that is just disastrous. That hole was so small. That port was so small to go through. If you had to, you probably wouldn't call that shot ever.
Do the same thing.
You got to wonder if the pressure of this moment, Slovakia knowing that they have to win these last 3 games to really be in contention to keep their dreams alive of being on the podium at the end of this championship, that pressure isn't impacting them just a little bit. Canada sitting with 6 wins. They seem to be getting better and better with each game.
Nice weight on.
I'm just looking for a guard just to kind of plug up the center here.
Nice shot, Ina. 13-5.
Beautifully placed. Such a challenge for Slovakia now. The good news for Pitonak is he gets a second chance at this shot. He's going to be looking to remove both of those yellow stones in front of the rings. This looks like a better line. The trajectory much better than the last one. He makes an impact, removes the 2 yellow stones. His shooter does sit there.
Just a little short.
Mark needs to come down.
If I come to it, then yeah, top 12. Just a little bit in the
But
8.
you change the color. Looks a little better. Peter Zacco is going to be facing a challenge, though. Barring some kind of calamitous shot here, he'll be looking at a very small
All right,
scoring
so top
area
ring
and
is
a
Okay.
crowded
What, 13 and a half.
space in front of the rings that he'd have to navigate. There's the target. It's in the middle of the 12-foot, that teal outside ring. So this rock would be okay if it's a guard sitting out front of the rings. It's okay if it comes all the way in.
Let's bank a little time. This is. Okay, that's good, Mark. It's good there. Doesn't
And
have
he ends
angles
up
there.
short of the rings, creating that staggered guard, those angled guards. It's hard to run a rock back in. And now there's a lot of bounce opportunity. If you don't hit this one perfectly, you could run that red rock right there and knock another yellow into the rings. Peter Zacco needs to settle in here. He missed both his shots in that opening end. He's got a ton of pace on this shot. He's going to move some granite. Great shot. Opening up everything. Oh, if this rock sticks around to bite on the back of the 12-foot. Oh, that's just bad luck there. That had curled just a hair more, his shooter, just a hair more, he would have got them all out. Watch this. Great contact. Gets a lot of granite moving. It is wide open now, access to that shot stone in the top of the forefoot. Mark Idison's gonna wanna try and block it. Basically throw the exact same shot he just threw. This has a bit more momentum. It looks like it's gonna come all the way down.
Bury it behind there. Okay, that's
That
fine.
works out.
Yeah, 12-4 from that.
Yeah, that definitely wasn't the plan A, but it
Well, I
sits in
didn't wanna
a
be
nice
short.
spot for Canada. Their count 3. Slovakia needs a solid execution if they're going to stop Mark Idison and his squad right now. So a nice controlled back ring weight shot. Zako wants enough pace to hold the line. But can't afford to be short. Looks like they just changed the ice to make this to be a straight draw. Taking his time there, making sure everything is lined up to his satisfaction. You can see it starting to curl, starting to move. Oh, they changed the broom. He threw the weight for the first broom, and they had changed the broom wider. Got caught between 2 shots for Slovakia, and Canada steals 3 points in the second end. They're up 5-0 now. That's the story of the game. Canada very consistently throwing draws and takeouts. Slovakia is clearly struggling. They're actually lucky not to be down 6-0 right now. Had Mark Idison made his first shot and his second shot in the first end, they'd be looking at a 6-0 scoreline. Now with this big lead, Canada needs to make sure that they keep doing what has been working. They can't let down at all. Because at some point, that big lead, Slovakia could finally settle in, release some of the tension, because they know what they have to do. They just have to put rocks in play. They've got to, but they've got to get past Marie Wright's first stone. Just awesome play from the Canadian lead.
Guard.
Yeah, and Monica just confirming, because that ice looks pretty close to a takeout. Same ice for the takeout, but being down 5-0. Radoslav Doris, their skip, he knows that they have to put rocks in play. They have to throw guards. They have to take advantage of that free guard zone. Monica didn't like this one. I think she was a little wide of her target, and she knows what that means. She accidentally guarded the Canadian stone. Oh, when things are not going your way, they are not going your way.
So the same weight, you think?
Yeah.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
Right up to it.
They would be tapping,
Keeps you away
whatever,
from
it's
that guard.
fine.
Yeah,
too, eh?
yeah.
So taking nothing for granted. Marie Wright confirming the speed of the ice with her two teammates. Trying to throw the exact same weight she threw on her first one. This one looks maybe a little bit heavier, but as it starts to curl, the weight comes off it. She just taps herself up a little bit closer. Rado knows they've got to take advantage of whatever opportunities they get. And at this point, Slovakia needs to see the Canadian Stone in the rings as their friends. They got to nuzzle up next to it, kind of snuggle into those rocks, get real cozy, and hopefully Canada can't take them out of play. So they would have liked that rock to be down onto the face of the rock that's in the forefoot, right near the agito symbol in the center of the ice.
I like that. You like that?
I'd rather come to the other side.
I like the other side.
Yeah. I like the other side.
Well, you got to guard that raise on the red.
It will if you bump your yellow in there.
Like here?
Yeah.
So in curling, oftentimes you are calling your shots, you're calling your game, setting your tactics in anticipation of your opposition making all of their shots. When you get a little bit of a miscue,
Dennis, you can top this.
out of your opposition,
Just top it.
Yeah.
you might have a little bit of doubt because you weren't planning on them missing. You were planning on them executing their shot. So it took Canada, this is the longest kind of discussion they've had yet in this match. Which way do they go? Do they guard the other side? Do they tap their rock up here? And they chose the tap, which I think is a really good shot selection for Dennis. Remember, he was heavy with his first draw of the game. And this gives him a chance to run into something maybe, but ends up just sitting behind in the back of the 12-foot. Canada is line 3 right now. Radoslav Duris from Dubnica gets this rock away. He is all over the center guard, crashing. He does open up a little bit on the other side of the ice, but this is a tough situation. You can see it there. Canada going to try and create some traffic in front of the rings, block the access. Dennis trying to settle down a little bit for a little bit less pace on his shot. That's a pretty good guard up there. It might be a little bit long. You might have wanted that a little bit closer to the rings. But it is right in front of the red rock that's causing some concern for Canada. It's not a ton of concern though. Now Radoslav looking for a promote, trying to run his own red rock into the pile of rocks on the rings. Just hits a little on the wide side. These shots are tough. The level of difficulty is high. When you're running a rock into the rings like that, your margin of error is so small. You are looking at moving a rock that's 8 to 10 feet in front of the rings. You've only got about an inch to inch and a half of space on the stone that you can hit and do it accurately. It's a tough shot. Now Canada's going to try and put a stone back. Still maybe over curling a little bit. Got caught there. Team Canada got caught there. So now those stones are
Okay, it's not bad there.
accessible
Oh, sorry, Anne, I had 5.
to Dusan Petonak with his first rock. First rock. You can see it's now open. There's still quite a bit of work to do for Slovakia, but it starts right here. He's got the pace to move a couple of stones. He just needs to have the right line. It's looking pretty close. It's not pretty close. It's absolutely perfect.
We're shot.
What do you say?
We're shot.
We
Hey.
are?
There it is. One into the other, and both out of the rings.
What do you think? 9? 9.5.
Yeah, 9.
9.5?
Okay, it's going to move a little bit.
So there's lots of numbers that get thrown out in the sport of curling. This 9.5 that Ina and Dennis are talking about, that's the speed of the ice, the running speed of the ice between the hog lines, or the thick red lines
Get over. Nice
that
shot,
are the
Ina.
foul lines as well. Oh, just gets away with that. Curls just enough. Here we go. Curls just enough right there at the end to sneak by Canadian stone in the back of the rings.
Yeah.
So, Petonak,
Oh,
you did it once. Let's do it again. And Rado's moving back to check the line of the stones, where he needs to hit that yellow stone in the top of the rings. Oh, and all of a sudden a change of tactics. So he's feeling a little like that double takeout won't get them enough production. So gonna look to try and up the pressure on Canada by drawing a rock around the Canadian stone. This is a great plan. If he can get one of these stones in the rings around the Canadian stone, he might just, kind of force Canada into hitting their own stone back or moving it back and opening it up. But that was great weight for Petonak, just not enough space, not enough line.
Yeah, exactly.
Side of it, right?
Yeah.
Well, I think we're only sitting one.
Are we?
Yeah.
Okay, though, we don't
Such
wanna get greedy.
disappointment. He threw beautiful weight. It just held the line a little bit.
Okay, Marco, make
All
it go
right, hit
bye-bye.
that.
So Mark Idison, he's going to remove that last stone. That's the goal. He's going to try and hit a little on the inside, roll over across his other one, and nudge it back deeper into the field of play.
Stay up. Stay up.
Shot, Mark. Stay there. Oh. What happened there?
Oh, an absolute crazy. How did that rock get through there? There is really only space for a stone. That is unbelievable. That all of a sudden,
Yes,
with
Joe.
that
Yes,
crazy
hey.
outcome,
Crazy.
crazy outcome, they're all
Is there
like,
even room?
was there
Is there even room
space?
for a rock?
Clearly there was. There was enough space for one rock between those two. And just misfortune for Canada there. But now it's Peter Zacho's turn to show up to this game. He has got to execute a couple of these rocks. Slovakia's got a chance to throw, to score a couple. But you saw that stone bounce. He just doesn't look that comfortable tonight. Maybe it's the pressure of throwing these last stones. But with that bounce and being just a little wide, lets Canada off the hook. They know it.
Okay. Well, why don't? Yeah, no
You don't
point
want
in
to
hitting.
out. I think
Radoslav
guard.
watching
If he hits that wrong,
intently,
hits it on
maybe 12.
ours.
having a
You don't
chat with
trust
his
me?
third.
Don't trust me.
He's
now?
guarding. He's guarding.
Okay.
Where did you want it, Mark?
Yeah.
Bottom mark. Let's go.
They're not going to take a chance with another takeout. They could choose to hit that red stone in the rings and
Just a guard, hey?
kind of take their
Yeah.
chances.
Yeah.
It sounds like
14.
they're going to
Yep.
guard or block Slovakia's way into the rings. I'm not sure I love the guard here. I'd like to see Canada keep their foot on the gas pedal. Mark's really playing quite well right now and taking advantage of that with some high precision shots. So if this rock could just draw into the rings behind the Slovakian stone, it's a lot more pressure. And
Perfect weight, Mark.
Come on.
you know, you wonder if on the other side of the ice, with those guards being so
14.3.
long, if Slovakia doesn't have a chance to throw back line weight
I have a confession.
and tap
What?
You know,
tap their own stone into the Canadian counter that's in the top of the 12-foot. They're going to go for their single point here. This rock needs to be into the 8-foot to score. Needs to slow down. This just not feeling the draw speed tonight. With that rock slipping past the shot stone. Peter Zacho still not getting the production he and his team need. Team Canada. They are on it tonight. They've got 6 points. Slovakia still looking for their first. Canada draw weight in their pocket at 68%. Sharp shooting, no doubt about it. The line score confirms. 2 in the first, steals in the subsequent ends. We're in the 4th end. And Super Mario gets Team Canada off and running. And this one might be running just a little bit hot. But for all you young leads out there, that is the way to miss this shot. You've got a 6-point lead on the board. You do not need to score anymore. You need to limit your opposition's scoring opportunity. No need to be careful. So that 0 on the scoreboard from Marie Wright, not too bad. This gives an opportunity for Slovakia to get a couple of corner guards set up. This rock looking a little long, needs to curl, get a little more speed. It's a good shot. Ideally, it's be a little bit deeper.
Yeah. Let's go with the intern.
I'd rather come around. Yeah.
So now Marie might make a little bit of an adjustment. A hair heavy on that last one, but still an okay place to put it. In the bin is actually an okay place to put it for that first stone for Team Canada. Now for sure they want this one in the rings. It is coming right in, and she's gonna stick around in the forefoot. Great shot.
Vamos doar atrás da cá.
The corner guard went up. Slovakia is going to try and use it. This stone, they're looking to draw this stone into the rings all the way around the corner guard. Now this is where Monica knows that she needs to add 15 to 20 feet of pace on this stone. Ends up coming up a hair short again. Remember, she was so long on the first one. You got to wonder if that wasn't communicated down to her, exactly where that sat. The angles are tough to see. And she ends up coming up a little bit short.
Yeah, throw it from that side. That's good.
And this sets the hard-hitting Denny Thiessen up for a peel. So the shooter's going to come down at quite a pace. He's going to want to hit just a part of one of those red rocks and roll both the stones out of play. Very smooth delivery. That rock is curling hard. Gets it, rolls the shooter all the way out of play. That's a fantastic shot. Rado now, he needs to find his draw weight. This whole team really needs to find their draw weight if Slovakia is going to make a dent in the Canadian lead and come back in this match.
Okay. Yeah.
Steely-eyed, checking out his line, trying to remember exactly how much force and momentum that he put on the rock.
Just peel, Dennis. Just
He's going to
peel.
want to remember that.
Just peel. Just
So lots of good info from his team, reminding him, just peel. Don't even bother looking at the rock in the rings. Denny just threw this shot. We've got a 6-point lead. Gonna line it up. There was that little bit of a bounce in order to create that big momentum. You see the rock bounce a little bit. That can affect the trajectory. But this one, pretty good outcome for Canada. The shooter rolls to a center guard. They remove the corner guard. So the Slovakian rock is gone from in front of the rings. Now Rado gets another draw. Hopefully that first one, weight dialed in. This looks a little bit narrow. Not sure it's going to get past that guard. It is not. Surprised. That's a big, big change in fortune there. Two-time gold medal winning Paralympic athlete, Ina Forrest. She's going to get this takeout here. She's only had one.
Roll over to mine, that's good. Roll over there.
Now she's got two. Rolls back to the center.
She didn't like mine there.
Happy players when that outcome. Team Canada, obviously, 6-point lead. They're just having a go out there. It's fun when things are going your way. It is such a fun game to play, and when things are not going your way, it is a challenge. Pushing yourself to see what you can do kind of ups the pressure. Now you wonder, is Canada going to draw this rock in? They can put a rock another rock into the rings. They could choose to guard. This looks like a guard.
Shot, Ina.
So they're starting to do the math. There's only 3 rocks left.
They hit that.
They've got a rock buried under cover, biting the button. Rado is shaking his head. There are not a lot of good options for this rock. With that, Rado's got to go way outside. Have his third shooter, Dusan Pitonak, try and draw a rock perfectly into the button. You can see out there in the wings, it is just running so straight. And that's the weight. It's too heavy. Just can't get anything going.
This way.
Right when you think they've got a little bit of momentum on Rado's first shot, nice draw.
I don't know why we're doing this way. There's nothing this way.
Nothing.
You think? Edge of 12 or a little more?
Just
Other
And
side,
top
Mark.
12?
Top 12's good.
can't get anything happening.
I think just.
Think you can get there this way easier than the other way?
Hey?
You think you can get there easier than the other way?
I'm going like top ring. I can't get to the house if I go the other way.
Okay.
Okay, so, you know, that's great. There's a little bit of indecision. The front end wanted one shot. The back end wanted
So,
another. And talking
13
it through,
probably,
making sure
12 and a half.
that you're all on the same
13 to the
page
top.
in order to help execute the shot. If there's
You
any
like that?
doubt by anybody, that's gonna transfer into the other players. And when you've got a skip that's playing as well as
You should maybe stay down here, Mark.
Mark
Down
Idison,
to 21 again.
you really can pick any shot. So this one looks like it's got enough pace to come
What?
right into the forefoot. Oh, is
Nice
this
shot.
ever
I got
good?
12, 11, 9.
Wow.
Ty to správaš, či zľava?
Slovakia's got to be just,
Nie.
what are our options? They have to play this out turn, that same shot that they just saw. It ran so straight. You got to wonder, is that part the ice conditions? Was it just the weight thrown?
To druhé bolo silnejšie trošku. No si myslím, že
So
bolo
they
11
tighten up the
dáček.
ice a little bit,
12, ideálne 12.
go through the information, what Pete to knock through, and hopefully Zatko gets good information and is able to execute it here.
Padaj.
Zatko has been
Dvanáct,
playing well
dva.
throughout the tournament, having a pretty good go of things. Oh, that is 2.5 inches from absolute perfection. Do you think he's found it? It might be a little too late though. But that is a really good shot. Great adjustment by the Slovakian team there. Canada's got to block this side up now. Just need this rock anywhere right out there. It can
Good
stop
shot, Mark.
any time now.
Nicely done. Nice shot. 13.
Oh, that is absolutely just inches from glory for Team Slovakia. Is there a way to get to that stone? Grado doing the math. Thinking about the weight needed, the angles available. You can see how challenging it is to try and tap that stone just thrown.
Poďme cez ten stred to posunúť, skúsiť.
Posunúť náš. A rýchlosť.
11.
They're talking about a double run. So they're going to use the yellow stone that's farthest up in your screen, run it back to the red rock just outside the rings,
Musíme posunúť ten náš.
and run that stone hopefully back into
Ak máme jedničku.
the button.
Tak rýchlo, ak si dal. Skoro, trošičku viac.
Alebo pôjde cez dva.
This is the last rock, fourth end. A very high level of difficulty shot, but it's the kind of shot that if a team can pull it off, it changes everything. For the momentum, you just start to groove. With that, Peter Zatko needs this rock to hang on. It is curling too much. Gonna hit too thin. Oh, but he gets the bounce. Is it enough weight? No.
9-6.
Polúsky.
That was a great effort. But not nearly enough production for the Slovakian curlers. Canada, a commanding 7-0 lead going into the break. Go get your snacks and let's see if Slovakia can come back in the second half. It's a great venue in Gangneung. Seats 3,000 fans. It is all smiles for Team Canada here at the fifth end break. Slovakia needs to get their skip going. He's playing at a 19% success rate, well down from his tournament standard. So they're just working with their coach, seeing what they can come up with. And it's a pretty quiet, disappointed group. They're going to have to let go of some of that grief and find a little bit of joy in curling. Have fun putting the rocks in play. Have fun with the challenge of the game. And I know it's disappointing, but they've got to find a way to reset themselves. And, you know, if Canada can score 7 points in 4 ends, there's no reason why
Like, I don't know
Slovakia
if it feels like
can't.
a 12 and a half at home. You know what I mean?
And
It feels maybe
oh
more like
boy,
11 and a half, but
there you have it.
Wayne, at what point did we start?
Every single player
Well,
from Canada just hitting their
just play in,
numbers.
right? There's no sense. Can't start throwing them through
Not
now.
yet.
Just play
It's
in
too early.
and just keep our
And
weight
they're
up
having
on
a
our
nice
hits.
little
I mean,
go with
that's
their
the key
coach,
now. We
Wayne
don't
Keel.
We don't need to do fancy or pretty. We just make stuff
Oh,
go
we
away.
stick around, just make
And
it go away.
yeah, don't. I mean,
So-
they're struggling, to say the least.
yeah, we'll go in and then
That's
it'll
right.
just be bang, bang. You'll
That's all
probably
you
get
can
some
do.
keels.
Yeah.
Continue to force that out there when you can.
And it's all business
Back there.
still for Team Canada. Take nothing
Good
for
stuff, guys.
granted.
Up here, you get to see
Double check their game
And we have a
plans.
job for you.
And keep it rolling
You
into
are
the
going to
second
work
half.
out there, young man. You've never worked before.
It's pretty obvious from the score where the stats are going to come up for Slovakia. And again, you just have to wonder the lineup change, bringing Peter Zako in and having him throw the fourth
Ja som
stones.
povedal, že rýchlo zvolal dobre. Len tebe sa ten kameň točil vyššie
It's
ako im.
just so
Vyššie
much
proti-
pressure. The change
To
that,
sa strašne točilo.
those last two stones at
Ako
the end,
rýchlosť bola super,
knowing
11 aj
that they
Justin.
are
Ty tam
really
prišiel, že tu.
what changes the outcome for your team, impacts it in such a way that added pressure doesn't just, you know, it doesn't come easy. And there'll be no easy going for the second half either for Slovakia. They're going to have to dig so deep and come up with just a tremendous amount of shots. And you never know what your opposition is going to give you. There's a chance that Canada could slack off a bit. And if you get a well-timed miss in your favor, you can score a couple of points. Slovakia needs to do it, but they got to do it really just one rock at a time. Kind of settle in, figure out what they like about the ice, what they like about what it's doing. And there's no doubt that the Canadian lead from Moose Jaw, Saskatchewan likes what this ice is doing. She's on top of it. She knows exactly how to throw these rocks and is doing so end after end. Monica's having a really good game. It's just that down the lineup, not capitalizing on where her rocks are going, not being able to get to the corner guards, and this one's going to sit long again. It doesn't have enough pace to get into play. It's got to get all the way over that line.
I think so.
All the way over. They're going to come. They're probably going to check it. That is a very high guard, and it is in play.
Anna, what did I throw? Oh, Jamie.
Idison goes and checks it out. Just having a great game. She looks like she's done this a million times. This is Marie Wright's first Paralympic Games as a member of Team Canada. She said it was a dream come true.
What was that, Jamie?
Monika do unutra pôjde.
Now Monika, she gets to put a second rock into play. She's from Nitra, Slovakia. And this one's gonna slip just past, keep going. Oh, now that's a real good corner guard. Nice and tight to the rings. That's a useful rock there. You can already see the angles for it, how close it is to the rings, how Slovakia can get back and use that. Oh, we've had a player change for Team Canada. Their alternate, Jamie Ansayou, into the match for Denny Thiessen. Now, this is not any kind of a judge on Denny Thiessen's play. He was having a fine game. With this 7-point lead, this is an opportunity for Team Canada to get their alternate on the ice, getting used to this environment in case they should need him. And Canada knows that, but making sure that, you know, their kind of backup plan in case someone would ever get sick or if someone is injured, that their alternate is absolutely ready to go. And hopefully Radoslav Doris is ready to go. He's got to be just shaking his head every single time he's up. He's looking at, he's only the third rock of the end, and almost every time we're looking at 2 Canadian stones in the rings, or a center guard, or a corner guard with a rock fully buried underneath. One over curls, takes his own out of play, rolls into the open. Jamie's got to love this opportunity. Narrow.
Right, it's wide open now. Good job.
I think he actually ticked his first stone over into the center. And that's what makes it so valuable, that opportunity. Now Rado, well below his tournament accuracy. Pretty good rock here. There's two Slovakian stones in the ring. That hasn't happened very often this game. Aina having an extraordinary game, up at 78%. She's throwing this one with quite a bit of hot sauce on it. And with that, it might be sitting out a little wide. She's hoping to hit and kind of roll in, but they're happy with just removing one rock.
I got 9-6. What happened on your throw?
What's that?
What happened? But
oh, just the timing thing. It's just.
Oh.
Rado, well aware of the scoreboard. There's no need to be shot yet. He doesn't need to be shot until the last shot. So Pitanak get a chance to draw a rock in the rings. Now remember, he's been heavy quite a bit. Just a little bit too much momentum on his shots. He's got to slow down. This rock's got great line. It starts to curl. The weight comes off it. And sticks around. Forces Canada. They're going to attempt a double takeout. Actually, this is going to be a single takeout in the rock that was just thrown. And if Aina's shooter rolls back into the center of the house, that's fine. This one's got some curling to do. Is this going to go through the port?
Just throw on.
Ah, she just gets that stone.
What happened to that one?
And Pitonak gets a chance to do it again. The 52-year-old setting his cue, putting his eye right behind the rock, making sure his line is perfect. This environment familiar to Pitonak. Oh, and does he come up with a big shot finally? He's shaking his head, but I think he can't see the angles. That shot. This is a really good rock. Moves the Canadian stone out of count position. Slovakia sits 1-2. They are lined up right, one on top of another. They're worried about the double takeout potentially from Mark Idison. The star of the Ilderton Curling Club. So Mark's going to try and remove both of these stones. Remember, a 7-point lead, they've got a bit of cushion, so he needs to make sure he gets one of them at a minimum. If he's got the right line, he could make the double takeout.
Ah, it's gonna jam.
Nice shot, Mark.
Well, now I don't know who's second shot. Slovakia still won. Rado takes a look at it. As Mark moves by, he takes a look and see if he's shot. There's a 3 in play here for Slovakia. They might need to take their ideas down to their back end.
Vytejkujem a že by zroloval.
Alebo fakt...
Náš, že by zroloval.
To nie? To je blbosť?
Nie.
Tento červený...
Čo, Peťo?
Že stredom by odišiel a náš by zroloval kúsok.
On chce fejkovať, už je na to nastavený.
Keď pôjde stredom, tak bude to musieť ísť na komoru. To sa nedá, že si pôjde.
So Slovakia using a ton of their time clock. Each team is issued 38 minutes at the beginning of the game, and it's described as thinking time. So the clock is ticking whenever a team is thinking or discussing a shot. The second the rock gets into motion and goes into play, the clock stops. Slovakia burned quite a bit of clock there. Zacco in his first Paralympic experience. This is a takeout.
9.
Is he going to stick around? Oh, and the shooter does. Great shot. Canada's got to hit and roll. They're going to try and tuck a rock anywhere. So this rock, as it's curling, it's going from right to left on your screen. Hits and spins underneath the guard and the top of the rocks. So with this angle, Canada can stymie
Make it go away
Slovakia if they hit and roll. They can roll to the short side underneath the corner. So now Mark moves that rock off the center line. So there's 3 lines printed on the center of the ice. There's the center line and the 2 lines on the outside of the center line. They're 18 inches. And in wheelchair curling, your stone has to sit in between those lines before you can throw it.
Good shot, Mark.
So they wanted to curl. They were hoping it would curl and you could roll to the short side.
Would have been
So
nice
accomplish
to
the
get a roll.
primary
Yeah, that would
goal.
have been nice, but more
All of a
important that it
sudden,
went
a
away.
couple of made shots, an opportunity. Showed a little bit of a blink from the Canadian skip. And Slovakia has a chance to put 3 on the board here in the 5th end. It's Peter Zacco's chance. Get his groove going, prove he is the man for the job here at the 4th position. Line looks good. He definitely has the weight.
8, 9.
And that is how you do it. That has got to feel so good for Peter Zacco and Team Slovakia. Finally, getting a little bit of production here. They came out of break, and they got a couple of breaks from Team Canada. Is there a chance to generate a couple of more? It's 7-3 after 5. Canada with the hammer in the 8th, in the 6th. Those percentages for Slovakia starting to go up a little bit. It's good news. They're finally on the board. It was a crooked number. It was a 3. That's going to give them some confidence. Now these stones here from lead Monika Krunklova need to be really well placed. She's looking for a center line guard in front of the field of play. This rock's starting to curl and just drifting off to the side. It's pretty good. They would have loved it right on the center line. But it's in that free guard zone area where it can't be fully removed from play until the second stones get thrown. And the absolute star of this game so far for Team Canada gets her first rock into play. Just slips into the back of the rings. Is it going to hang around? It's just gonna. That's good. There's a lot of space in the rings. It's a good spot for it. Slovakia being down by 4 points. 3 ends left to play. They are not going to pay any attention to the Canadian stones in the rings. They're going to throw up another guard. They need somewhere good to hide a stone behind. And knowing that there's 2 guards up there now, Canada's going to try and beat them in, beat Slovakia into the center of the house. So this clockwise rotating draw. Coming down the ice. Looks a little deep. It's going to slip to the back of the rings. Nice shot. Slovakia, this is a good opportunity. A couple of Canadian stones in the back of the rings. They have to ignore them. They cannot worry about them. They're doing an excellent job kind of managing the tactics of the situation, knowing they're down by still quite a bit, that they need rocks in play. They need to use the Canadian stones if they can in their favor. Just draw right behind their center guards.
12-2.
And that's how you do it. Right like that.
10?
10.
10.
10.
So they would like that to curl just a little bit more, but he's pretty pleased. Now we've got the new player, the alternate for Team Canada. Jamie Ansiu into his first game here at the Paralympics. Had a little bit of difficulty in that last end, his first 2 rocks. He got those out of the way. Now he gets a chance to make this takeout here. They can still see a little bit of it. They're okay if they end up hitting one of the center guards and moving it out of play.
That's good.
They're going for the rock in the rings. But that is an
That's a good shot.
absolutely acceptable plan B outcome.
Wait, and it's fine. Getting rid of one of the guards is great.
So Rado gets a chance. They could draw this one all the way down into the rings if it's got the right line. They're okay if it's a guard.
13-2.
It's a pretty good setup.
Dobre. Gard je dobrý.
Now it's a really good setup. You can see it. There's staggered guards and Slovakian rock right
Just peel
on
that one.
the forefoot.
Peel.
Almost covering
Peel.
the button.
9. 8.5, 9.
8.5, 9, Jamie.
Canada all of a sudden looking a little tense. We saw how easy going they were, everything kind of going their way. They made the player change. And that changes the energy. It was a great opportunity to bring your 5th player in, but it definitely changes the communication and the energy. They've been out there as the foursome, Marie, Denny, Ina, Mark, the entire championship. And they just need to settle down and adjust to that
Good shot,
new
Jamie.
energy that's happening out there.
Good one. Nice weight.
So there's still 2 guards out front. I'd love to see Slovakia draw rock right down into the forefoot, right on top of their own. Remember, their third, Dusan Pitonak, finally came up with some great draw weight in the last end. It ended up leading to that score of 3. If he does it again here, the pressure is on Team Canada huge.
Prejde.
This is
11-7.
Poď.
looking a little hot. Oh, well, you know what? It was close before. Let's just nudge it a little closer still. So it doesn't really move the needle at all for Team Slovakia, but it doesn't make it any easier for Team Canada.
Stuff right here.
And the official coming out, making sure there's no
Right
debris
there.
on the ice. Any little bit of debris will has the potential to seriously impact the path of the running stones.
Nice throw, Ina. Nice one. 9.
Makes the peel, opens up the shot rock. Just trying to create a path in, access to that stone. And now Slovakia is going to try and absolutely block the access to that stone. So it's the same path that Pitonak was on for this last rock. Got to take some momentum off it. The line looks nice. Great rotation. It's all about the weight.
13-9.
Nice shot.
Ešte pol
Sits
kameňa.
up
You
there.
get that one, it's fine.
Canada's thinking there might be a path into here. There might be a port to get through. It's a good shot. Mark, so steely, so calm at the skip position. Ina, a very passionate player, fiery, lots of energy. Needs this one to curl. She might have the run on this one. Nope, it does curl. She takes it out of play.
Almost.
Almost.
Yeah. She would have had like 9-5. She would have got through if she had 9-1.
She opens it up though. That's a good shot. So double checking where Peter Zako's first stone of this sixth end needs to be. Has he found his comfort zone?
On mi
This
pretočí.
one's curling so early. Does it even have enough weight to get into the field of play? It does not.
To není možné.
Kind of weight you want to throw it there?
What's that, sorry?
Kind of weight you want to throw it
Do you
there?
have a
Oh,
stick,
the back
Jamie?
and forth,
Oh,
up and down. Ah.
loss, right?
Just kind of the heartbreak of
Yes, I
the momentum changes for Peter Zacco in the last couple of ends.
Put her back there, too.
Probably like. Maybe a little less.
So finally Canada has its chance to get rid of that great draw that was put there by Radoslav Doris.
What are you throwing here, Mark?
Like 12 back line sort of thing. Or you think we should just hit it?
What's that?
Or you think we should just hit it?
Well, I think would have got through that hole at 9-5.
Yeah. I kind of like this.
Yeah, okay. Do it then. You got it.
So the two options, he's going to tap it back as opposed to take it all the way out of play. Feels more comfortable with the line. And this option. The youngest member of Team Canada, 41-year-old Mark Ideson's first rock here.
Oh no.
He says, oh no, just really light.
Oh.
Oh, and
12-4. Should've thrown the hit.
absolutely lets Slovakia back into this end.
Ja viem, Ľudko, ale skôr by som ten, aby sme mali trojku. Lenže
All of a sudden, zero production from the Canadian skip.
Neboj sa.
A
Guard niekde do tej medzery.
Slovakia is looking for a guard. I actually think this is a chance for them
Aby
to
ostal
come
v medzere.
right into the rings.
Čo?
Medzeru zapchať.
Now this one, the adjustment, he only needs 6 or 7 more feet of pace on this stone. You don't want to make an overcorrection because then you could take the center guard and open it up.
Nie, ale to bolo užšie.
This looks pretty good though.
15-3.
He made the hole smaller. Might
Not
still be
I don't
there.
think. I don't know if we can get shot.
Yeah, I don't see anything that's
it's
safe to try to attack it either, right?
Oh, we could tap that one. And,
The way the guards are,
like
you
as
can
long
get
as
around
you're just playing
Yeah, I
like
think we
raise
can.
weight, right?
Sure.
Like middle of 12, I think.
So Canada's going to try a tap. I think there might be a hole there. You know, if they take a look at this, if Mark takes a look, he's gonna come around and look back.
Number, hey?
They're talking about the port. I think there's definitely access to come through the port with backline weight. I know there's some rocks up in front of those that we're looking at
Pretty
there
tough
in the
to
bottom
get
of your
shot
screen.
here,
but
Is it?
the way the ice
think so.
moves, there's so much curl.
Bet you we can get that red one through the
And Mark got there.
The top rim,
finish.
you mean?
No, the one on the button. You're trying to draw right in or tap? Like if I throw like a 10 through that hole, it shouldn't. I'll play the raise.
Oh, you're playing a race?
Yeah.
Oh, this is a
You
tough.
might get
He
around
almost
there, like
got
there's
there.
room.
I do think that shot's there, and given the scoreboard, might be the better choice. But he's going to try a raise here on the corner. So this is a super precision shot. Trying to hit this back on an angle. If this should over curl, it looks like it's got pretty nice weight.
Oh,
Just misses it, just over curls.
Try.
And with that, 2 misses out of the Canadian skip, uncharacteristic so far in this game, have let Peter Zatko and Team Slovakia tighten this game up by another point. First half, Canada. Second half, Slovakia. It's 7-4. Canada retains the last shot. Still being outplayed statistically by the Canadians. It's all about the last rock. Who makes it and who doesn't. With a couple of misses from Team Canada skip, Slovakia steals a point in the 6th.
Super, ďakujem.
And they've got life, you can see it. Their energy, they look a little bit looser. And they're going to look for another center guard. Their plan's the same. Nothing changes. 2 guards go up, and then they're going to try and go around, no matter where the Canadian stones are. Oh, and she bisects the center line right in the middle of the free guard zone. Right. It's Canada underway. This one's going to run through the rings. It needs to start to curl, lose some of that pace. It is not going to. Just a little bit too much on that one.
7-8.
Again, remember, no matter where the Canadian stones go,
Ešte jeden.
Team Slovakia's plan is clear.
Garda si lepšie.
Dobre.
One more guard. She wants this one to sit just over that hog line. You couldn't walk that rock down the ice and place it in a better spot. Kumplova with 2 great shots here in 7.
Top 12, farm 2.
In the top 12-foot, maybe the top 8-foot, trying to beat Slovakia into the center of the rings at this point. No doubt. Beautifully placed rock by Marie Wright. Her team knows it. Some fist bumps. Slovakia, they're going to try and freeze to that yellow stone that's in the top of the 4-foot. If they could tuck around it, it would be fine. They could get shot. That Canadian rock's in a pretty good spot. Rado's had some nice draws in the second half of the game. Coming in.
Pekne.
just maybe a hair heavy. So they were looking to freeze to that rock. He looks confused, like, how did that happen? Just was maybe a foot too much weight. Now this is a chance for Jamie. He hasn't thrown a real high production shot yet, and you can see that rock just bouncing off the end of his cue. Makes it really hard to hold the line.
Looks good, Jamie. Looks good, Jamie. You're gonna like it.
This
Nice
one,
shot.
real good.
Nice shot.
Alvarado gets that same draw. He needs to tuck one right around into the forefoot. I think they're gonna maybe move some of the Yellowstones. Thinking that there's not enough space. They don't have the angle to get around. Gonna try and change things up a bit. Canada's got to be pretty happy forcing Slovenia into hitting.
Give it. 2.
Pekne. 9.
Now all of a sudden that rock's sitting up above the Canadian stone like that. Up above and on the angle.
Yeah, I like that. I thought he was going to hit it. So what does he need, Ina?
14.
That
14,
stone is a
Jamie.
control stone for Rado and his team.
Yeah, 14. Just right out.
Right out to the
Canada's
room.
gonna
Or curl a lot.
try and guard in front of it, block the access to that red stone there. Not let Slovakia run it back into the Yellowstone on the forefoot. And this is Jamie's first draw of the game. He's only thrown takeouts.
Might be a little stiff.
Huh?
I think I'm going to raise him into the butt.
No, you're not. You're going to curl and knock them over. So you're going to be good. You're going to be good. You're going to be good. Good shot. Good shot. That's a good shot.
A little heavy, pretty normal for your first draw of the game. And you got to wonder, with Denny Thiessen sitting on the bench, that's a tough spot. So now the way things are sitting, oh, there's a timeout by Slovakia. Their coach is going to come out. František Pitonak is going to come out. Now, Slovakia, they played 8 games. They've used their timeouts in all 8. And those statistics are tracked to the performance after a timeout. They've made 53% of their shots after a timeout. So it's a 50-50 proposition. Hopefully their coach gives them some good information and helps them through this situation.
Na posúvanie 12, lebo keď je 12 T-line.
Pekne je to postavené, páči sa mi to. Pôjdeme z tej strany a poťukneme ho. To je paráda. A keby náhodou to nevyšlo, tak potom z druhej strany ešte máme kopu miesta, tam ešte zo 3 sa vojdu. Z tamtej strany potom, hej, ako ďalšie riešenie. Dobre.
Jaký si bol usmiatý, veselý.
Takže si ma vyťahli, bo už som tam mrzol, fúši mi tam do ucha, zima mi tam je, hladný som.
No dobre, 12 mal na Kanáde.
Na základ potrebuješ.
Kde ide kočka ešte?
Ja.
On ma tam pošle do tej zimy.
Ešte raz nechceš prísť na extra end?
Taký ľahký ťukne.
Vieš tam.
Hej, ešte na extra end.
So that was an energy creator. The team comes away from the timeout laughing. They went through their options, kind of the set of circumstances that they're facing. And they did not have a smile in the 4th end break. And now they're laughing with their coach. They've made a dent in the scoreboard. Even though this situation's pretty challenging, They realize they've got a chance. This one, they're going to draw in. They could tap a little bit. They could tap their red stone in to the button. But they're okay if they just nuzzle in there and create some difficult shot selections for the Canadians. Just trying to get into there. Oh, they don't want to tap them closer. Not the outcome they needed. Now you can see that the angles are not in their favor. It's going to be challenging to tap one of those stones at this point, if not impossible, based on the angles and how the stones will bounce.
What about our side? Can they do ours?
Best jams. Let's burn the timeout.
Okay.
Timeout?
Timeout.
So it's a tricky situation. Both teams using their timeouts here in the 7th end. They don't want their clock just ticking. They don't want to create any time clock pressure.
Just that they can't come in and take us, eh?
Yeah, they could only get, if they came this way, they could only get
Only
one.
get one?
We'd still be shot.
And they would bump us at the shot, right? Because they can't get enough weight at that, I don't think, to hit it out.
I don't know, like they have off this one.
So better to guard that. Is that what you're thinking?
Well, they come off here, sit here.
Yeah, well, as long as you don't think they can do anything that side. That's the only thing. If we cover theirs, we force them to that side.
Yeah, that's right.
And then, as long as they can't take them all,
yeah, we can't
we're
cover
guarding
both
there
sides,
too,
so we
right?
gotta,
Yeah.
maybe they don't have much.
They can probably get to this one.
Eh?
So what are you thinking?
Well, I'm thinking guarding something.
What about hitting that on the nose?
Yeah. Yeah, actually.
What's that?
Hitting
Hit
that
it
right
on
on
the
the
nose.
beak.
Well,
This one goes,
it's
and
just
then
that
we're,
they're
You're
not
ahead
that
of that one.
they're not that free, eh?
eh?
They're not that free for nose.
Put that on the nose?
I think you can get to the
Yeah,
nose.
hit this on the nose.
Hit that one
That's
on
what
the
I'm
nose.
saying. But that's not that free for nose because it's sitting there already. So,
I think it's good.
you think so?
I think it's good.
I like it. Right
Okay.
on the beak and
So
sit.
hit on the beak, you
right
sit
there.
right there.
Okay.
Yeah, it's wide open, eh?
So that's one of those timeouts. The coach came out and gave him an option they had not even been discussing. And it's where they end up going. That's why you use your timeouts. Get that input, see things that you haven't seen. So the one challenging thing that I heard in that timeout, though, was that the woman who's in charge of making this shot wasn't fully bought in. So Ina's worried that she doesn't have full access. She doesn't want to make life any better for Slovakia. Those angles are tough for them to use. They need a couple of shots to make some headway in this situation. Canada certainly doesn't want to make it any easier. Looking for a 9-second hit. She's got to get by the guard, and she does not. She does tick the rock over a bit. The guard
Yeah.
definitely limits the access on the other side of the ice. Now opens up that center guard for a straight run back.
Skúsiš náš keby promič. Duško! Len to popočukneme ďalej. Posúvať.
So a little bit of a
Takže
tap,
rýchlosť
change
taká,
the
jak si
angles
mal.
up, try and get to shot rock.
Čukneme do toho.
Just change things up a little bit for Slovakia. They're going to need a really great shot at some point. When you're down by 3 points, you've only got 2 ends left to go, you don't have last rock advantage, you're going to need an absolute great one at some point. Canada almost did the work for him. And that doesn't, you know, you can still see that the angles are really tough for Slovakia.
Yes, for us.
They're going to have to just take that middle red stone if they even get the opportunity.
Do it, Ina.
Good.
Ina now switching gears. Canada switching gears. There's no more takeouts happening. They're going to try and throw a guard. So this rock needs to sit almost right where it is.
Shot, Ina.
I think there still might be access on that side over there. If they make the great shot right now, you see it. He just needs to hit what they can see. All the rocks in front of the rings. If Slovakia could make this shot in this moment, how does Canada get in there?
Len posúvačku alebo rýchly?
So Zako, he's making sure he knows exactly what's going on. He wants to see the angles for himself.
Take out.
Jasné. Som nevedel, či posúvačku. Takže rýchly musím ho...
No lebo tak...
Áno.
Musíš ho tráfiť, keď ho netrafíš, ak ho netrafíš, už nič sa nedeje.
Dobre.
They're verifying exactly what they want, what the angles are. And that's a great use of their time. Zako wanting to make sure he completely believes that the shot he's being asked to throw is there.
Peťo!
So it's a 10. That's the kind of weight that they need. That's 10 seconds between the hog lines. Lining it up. Needs a steady, steady release there. It's got to hold the line out there. It's got to hold the line. Does he have it? Oh my gosh, what a shot. Oh, what a shot.
Well, we're not getting shot out of this, so we got to just...
Oh, this is one of the best shots of the tournament.
Right on the corner.
Everything about that was beautiful.
Draw one right onto the corner of that one.
Oh, he knows it. It looks like Canada's conceding a point here. They're conceding. It's Mark Idison. It's got to be feeling so frustrated by this situation.
We'll just draw one down in there, right on the corner of the one that's there.
Okay.
And they hope they get access to it on the second time. All right. Mark's had a bit of a dip in performance in the last couple of ends. Good news for his team is he's been really accurate with his draws. Really accurate.
They're only one.
Yeah.
This has great weight if it's got the right line. Oh my. Canada just lined Slovakia up to make another tap on this rock. I mean, it's dangerous. You have to make a pretty bold choice here and go for this. But it's there. They hit that yellow stone right on the nose. They could be sitting 1, 2, 3, and 4. And Canada being forced to the wide out turn in to try and cut him down. Oh, is this a turn of fortunes? They're seeing if it's there.
Ako trafi na komoru, tak pôjde rovno na neho.
Ale keď sa mu to rozíde, tak to nedopadne dobre.
Tak musíme to risknúť.
A čo sa môže stať najhoršie, keď sa mu to rozíde?
Ako stačí ho možno len dočuknúť.
Toto sme išli.
Musíš vytlačiť ten červený. Ten žltý.
So lots of good discussion.
Kúsok ho, meter odtlačiť.
So they're going to have to make a choice.
Peťo, pozor, nevidím.
Some point.
Idem sa pozrieť.
You're going to have to choose.
Peťo.
No.
Peťo. Pôjdeme to takou 12.
Zako throws the same shot he just threw.
Hlavne,
a kde ho
aby
má?
si netrafil ten gár.
Áno. Napriamo by som ho mal, že?
The challenge is, comes down to the round things, round shapes hitting one another.
Nie, poďme to risknúť.
And what kind of action they get, what kind of bounce. It all depends on the weight, how much force you get through the different stones, how far they'll bounce. Could you do some damage to yourself?
Alebo počkaj, a keď zajdem, z druhej strany zajdem do červených.
Poďme tu. Nie, tuto. Tuto po prípade potlačiť. Hej, poďme po tejto. Poď. Toľko času nemáme. Máme, ale...
So there's some doubt. His team doesn't like it. I'd go for it. You're down by 3. They might just be playing the tap here. He could definitely tap. Nice deep breath. He's got to settle himself.
Ja by som to hral, Radko. Cez žltý.
Oh, this is a lot of time, too. They're taking a lot of time off their own clock, but they're also forcing Canada to just wait for their turn. The pressure starts building.
Peťo, ale 11, hej?
So, with that ice, it looks like a bit of a tap. In Slovakia, they played so quickly early in the game. They've got the luxury of just taking almost as much time as they want right now. They are absolutely unperturbed by their ticking clock. It's a great lesson for you players at home. Whenever you're on the clock, play as quickly as you can when things are simple and clear. This one's a little narrow. Are they wrecking on the guard? Are they opening this up? Oh, after all that time. They're still in an okay position. Canada doesn't really have a shot over there on that side of the ice.
I can't get shot.
No, I don't think you can do anything more. Well, try drawing.
Okay. Okay.
So they're going to try the draw. There's no harm in trying this. You're not going to hurt yourself.
Try it.
And if you can get to full 4 foot, then that's what you got to think. Just try and split the tee line.
Okay. Can you get to the 4 foot?
I guess we'll see.
I don't know. It might be a little heavier because we haven't been there for a while.
Yeah.
So remember, there's a couple of rocks just outside the rings there that they got to try and get around. This ice has been curling a ton. So moving from left to right, right to left on both sides, lots of finish to the rocks. This spot ran a bit straighter. We saw some rocks run a little bit straighter, but they had too much pace on them. If the Canadian skip can find that sweet spot in the weight department, this should curl all the way into the forefoot. It's running a little hot right now.
Weight's fine.
There, it starts to curl. Pace comes down. Oh, what a great effort. But again, in the second half, Slovakia steals another point.
Get it?
Score's getting a little bit closer here. It's 7-5. Canada keeps the last stone once again. Well, if that isn't something, if you would have told me after the second end that these stats would be this tight at this point, I might have lost a bet. But first half, all Canada. Second half, all Slovakia. And now we are to the final end of this game. Slovakia needs their lead. Needs their lead to put her rocks in a great control position in that free guard zone where they can't be fully removed from play. They want them right on the center line. That's a great shot. Canada's sticking with its same game plan. Remember, they're up by 2. So, and they have the last rock. They haven't been able to take advantage of it for the last couple of ends, but they're also only giving up steals of 1. And in order to force extra end or overtime, Slovakia is going to need to find a way to steal 2.
What's the weight on that, Jeannie?
I got 13.3.
So checking the weight, she comes up quite short. That is absolutely not where Canada wanted that rock. 40-year-old lead puts her second stone into play in this 8th end. It needs to go. Oh, just not enough pace, not enough rotation. That does not make it across the hog line. And she'll have the unenviable position of pulling her own rock to the sideboards. This one's got a little bit better pace to it.
Should be good, Marie.
Not sure why Canada feels the need to draw rocks into play. It's like they've forgotten the scoreboard. They're up by 2 points. They don't really need to score any. They just need to make sure. Slovakia forgot that Rado's playing second. He's throwing the second stones. He needs to get down there, get to the rock. He's got some different kind of work to do. His vice skip She's the one that's in charge of holding this target.
Hold up.
Looking for a draw. It wants this one right on the forefoot. It's okay if it stops short of the rings. They'd be okay if they set up another guard. Create some separation between these guards, stacked one on top of another. Super spot. Jamie gets the peel.
Nice shot, Jamie. It's perfect. Good one, Jamie. Nice shot.
And there
Nice
you go.
throw, Jamie.
Nice shot.
Jamie gets his
Perfect.
100% execution on that one. That's got to feel really good. Rado putting this rock in play. It's going to run into the guard.
13 offset.
It's going to force Canada to the other turn. So that's good news. This out turn has been a little bit trickier to manage.
Mark, why do you want this
Maybe
way?
that way?
It's fine if you do.
Could get them both.
Okay, okay.
Canada really doesn't have
That's
time to
fine.
be chatting about this.
That's fine.
As their clock ticks down, they're just
Reason, I'm not sure why.
double checking. This kind of doubt is coming out of, you know, Mark's picking the right turn based on the angles of the rocks in front of the rings. And his players on the far end are just maybe getting a little panicky.
Okay, that's good, Jamie. You open up the forefoot.
Feeling the pressure of the situation. Canada needs to look at that scoreboard, see that they're up by 2. It's time to come in, Rado. Don't shake your head. It's time to come in, put some rocks in the rings. There's lots of places to hide.
Go. Oh my God.
Nie ma, nie gapnie, bo jest.
And 52-year-old third stones.
Dobre.
He's in his second Paralympic Games. Was 6th in Sochi. They're looking to do a little bit better here, but in order to do that, they've got to win all 3 of the games they've got left, starting with this one here. They are up against it. They're down by 2. They don't have last rock. But they have forced Canada to change tactics. There's enough rocks in front of the rings. Canada's going to start to draw. Canada knows they can't get rid of all of them. They're going to go, they're going to play defense by bringing the offense. Nina Forrest, she practices and trains out of the Vernon Curling Club in British Columbia, Canada. She's got excellent ice conditions there, much like the conditions she's seeing here.
It's just that
Comes up short. They've been talking about the ice speed, getting a little bit slower at the latter half of the game. Just underthrows that one a bit. Opportunity for Slovakia to tuck one around. Needs a bit more momentum. This has got wider line too. Kind of shoved this one out. It's got to pick up the curl. Looks very heavy. It's starting to curl. The weight's coming off it. Sits count in the back of the rings. It's not hidden. It's not the perfect spot, but it does up the pressure a little bit. Every little bit helps. Shot from the two-time Paralympic champion, Aina Forrest. You can see that is absolutely hidden behind. Makes the rings a little bit smaller. And the pressure on Peter Zatko. Fourth stones, the youngest member of the Slovakian team. Had a little bit of difficulty in the opening half of this game managing the pressure. Has come on strong in the second half. It's got to get... Does it get by the stone in the top of the 8-foot? It does not.
Where's the stick? We're shot, eh?
Back there, Jamie.
So Canada
Mark,
in a great
just
position.
guard it up,
Mark,
right?
you gotta hurry. Yep. You just sit there.
They are really worried about time, though. Canada is really worried about
Okay, Mark,
time.
you got time. You got time, Mark.
And Mark's got a pretty specific routine that he follows here. He moves in,
Thanks, Shane.
turns, sets himself. He has very little
It's heavy
cushion
out there, hey?
Yeah.
here. Situation's still pretty good for a team when you're up by 2 points and you're sitting count in the rings.
Should be good. Just guarding that, right?
Nice shot, Mark.
Nice shot, Mark.
Nice shot.
Okay, Mark, Mark.
Now,
Watch.
is there a way for Peter Zatko to run a rock into the rings, remove the Canadian stone from the 8-foot?
Ten je lepší. Ako šanca to je.
Did Mark Idison just give Slovakia away to make this shot? They're going to use his rock.
Je najlepší ten žltý?
Ale dá sa.
Hej. Poď, dáš ho.
Duries setting the line. Slovakia needing this precision run back. If he makes this, it forces Canada to a tough draw
Bude to točiť.
against the extra end. We know he can make the big shots. We just saw it in the last end. That incredible little angle raise to the button. Does he have this one here? He's watching it. It's got to hold the line. Is it over curled? Little tick. Did he get it? No.
I thought you were going to get it.
Oh, what
Thank you.
What a game. What a game.
Good try. Thought you had it. Good game. Thank you.
Canada.
Jamie, you gotta do it.
Canada comes in so strong, so strong. And then all of a sudden, Slovakia puts the pressure on. And Canada blinks, but ultimately they end up with 2 points in that ninth end. And the Canadian fans are thrilled. They know what that victory means. That puts them in a great spot for the semifinals. And that's the final score. It ends up Canada 9, Slovakia 5.
The organizing committee would like to thank our volunteers for their time and dedication.
가족 여러분, 2018 평창 패럴림픽 조직위원회는 모든 자원봉사자들의 헌신에
Final stats.
Give it up for the volunteers.
Peter Zako, Dusan Pitonak struggling a little bit in that back end. Monika Kunklova came to play tonight. They just didn't quite have the timing that they needed and came up against a very strong playing Canadian team. There was a little bit of hope there with some misses from Mark Idison, but ultimately Canada goes on to a significant victory. But that's a pretty lopsided line score. First half, all Canada. Second half, Slovakia. And Slovakia really make a couple more shots in the beginning, and they might have been able to put some pressure on Canada. And Canada hangs on there for the victory.
Please take care exiting the venue. Remember, staff are here to help should you require assistance. Thanks so much for coming. Have a great evening.
나갈 때는 저희 스태프들의 안내에 따라 안전하게 이동해 주시기 바랍니다. 안녕히 가십시오.
The conclusion of session 14, our feature matchup was so entertaining. It was a dominant performance from the Canadian team in the early half and a gritty attempted comeback in the second half by Team Slovakia. Their young skip, Peter Zako, the fourth stones thrower, is going to be a player to watch as Slovakia moves ahead in the competitive world of wheelchair curling. That's it for session 14 from the Pyeongchang 2018 Paralympic Games. Thank you so much for watching.